Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another video. It is the weekly news roundup, the show where we sit down on a Friday evening and we talk about all of the latest Everton news and rumours from the last 7 days or so. Carlo Ancelotti has had his pre-game press conference today ahead of tomorrow's Premier League fixture at Goodison Park against Chelsea, the first Premier League fixture in around 9 months at Goodison Park that fans will be allowed in the stadium. 2,000 Evertonians will be allowed back into Goodison Park tomorrow to cheer on the Blues. However, Carlo started the press conference with some negative news. He has confirmed that James Rodriguez will be out of tomorrow's game through an injury that he has sustained over the last week or so. He hasn't trained this week. It is a slight calf injury, and Carlo isn't sure whether he'll be fit for Wednesday's game against Leicester City. Carlo Ancelotti also confirmed that midfielder Fabian Delph and Seamus Coleman will both miss tomorrow's game. Carlo did further go on to talk about Seamus and said that they're hopeful he'll be fit for Wednesday's game. However, the biggest bit of news coming out of that press conference, certainly the injury news, because obviously we knew Fabian Delph was going to be unavailable due to the injury he picked up last week. We sort of had an idea that Seamus Coleman might still not be quite ready, but the biggest bit of news is that James Rodriguez is out of tomorrow's game through an injury. It's so typical Everton Football Club, isn't it? We've waited 9 months to get back into Goodison Park to support Everton, and you know we had a chance to go there tomorrow. At least 2,000 Evertonians had the chance to go up to Goodison tomorrow and watch James Rodriguez, skirting around Goodison Park looking absolutely quality, but unfortunately that won't be the case and we'll have to wait a little bit longer. Like I said before, Carlo didn't give the extent of the injury. He just said it's a slight calf injury that was picked up a couple of weeks ago, and he hasn't seen this week through that. He said that hopefully the rest will be as a precaution and hopefully he'll be available within the next week or so, but we don't know about Wednesday yet because he still hasn't seen this week. So there you go, biggest bit of news from Carlo Ancelotti's press conference is that midfielder or forward James Rodriguez is injured and will not be available to play tomorrow's game, along with Seamus Coleman and Fabian Delph and of course Luca Dean, which we already knew anyway. Everton have today put out a statement as to say that the season ticket renewal process for the 2021-2022 season tickets has been pushed back. It does usually start in January, however it has now been pushed back to March with the hope that they will be able to set a deadline in June. Everton released a statement today which said that Everton Football Club can confirm the auto renewal process for the 2021-22 season tickets will not begin in January as it has done in previous years. Season ticket members who are currently part of the auto renewal scheme for 2020-2021 paying for their season ticket on a 12-month direct debit will make their final payment on Monday the 4th of January 2021. The club can also confirm the general renewal period for season tickets will not begin in January. The club is planning to open the renewal window in March with the renewed deadline in June. Further details of the renewal window will be confirmed in due course. The club has taken the decision to push the renewal and auto-renewal starting dates due to the ongoing uncertainty created by the coronavirus pandemic. By delaying the renewal date, the club is optimistic there will be much greater clarity for fans relating to the 2021-2022 season when the renewal window opens. Once renewals commence, season ticket purchases will be available to supporters online, over the phone, or dependent on local coronavirus restrictions by visiting the box office at Goodison Park in person. Season ticket members will be able to pay for their season ticket in full or through a popular direct debit scheme. A 10-month payment plan option will be available for supporters opting to renew in March. There will be no 11 or 12-month direct debit option available for the 2021-2022 season. So in some important news and information there regarding the renewal process for next season tickets, obviously, again, it's all up the wall a little bit at the moment because of the pandemic and because of the restrictions, and we don't know, when we'll be allowed back in the stadium in a full capacity. Obviously, it's, big news that we're allowed 2,000 fans back at Goodison Park tomorrow. It's absolutely fantastic, but in terms of everybody getting back into the stadium, unfortunately, we don't know when that is going to be. So just to summarise that there, Everton have confirmed that usually the season ticket renewal process would start in January. However, this year, or next year, should I say rather, it will begin begin in March with a deadline they set for June. So a little bit longer to make those decisions, and a little bit longer to, basically contemplate whether you want to go and pay another £500 plus for a season ticket in which you might be able to visit Goodison week in, week out. Obviously, at the moment, we're stuck on 2,000 fans, and it's a balloting process. That might go up if our restriction level drops to tier 1, or that might go down, and again we might be in a situation where no fans are allowed back in the stadium if we drop into tier 3. So I suppose it's just a watch this space really, but Everton have confirmed today that the season ticket renewal process will not start in January 2021. It will in fact start in March. Leighton Bains is 36 years old today. A very, very happy birthday to former Everton left back and Everton legend Leighton Bains. Obviously still within the club on the coaching team for the under-23s and the first team as well, which is absolutely fantastic to see. Leighton retired towards the back end of last year in a very sort of bittersweet situation. I think a lot of Evertonians were very happy at the career that Leighton Bains had and how important he'd been to Everton Football Club. For me, he is an Everton legend, but the bitterness come with the fact that there was no fans in the stadium to wish him a farewell. He walked out, as Seamus Coleman said in an interview, as he would have wanted to, with no pressure around him, no sort of fuss made about him. He just come in, done his job and left, and that's exactly what Leighton wanted. And it is Leighton Bains' 36th birthday today, so big happy birthday to Leighton Bains. We do hope he has had a fantastic day. Now, I just mentioned Leighton Bains is part of the development staff at USM Finch Farm, of course. Young left-back Thierry Small has been pictured with Everton's first team today, training ahead of our Premier League fixture against Chelsea tomorrow. So that is definitely something to be interested by. Obviously, we know from Carlo Ancelotti, Luca Dean and Fabian Delph are still out, so they will be unavailable for tomorrow's game. Niels Nkunku was back in training today, so hopefully we may see him tomorrow. But it is worth noting as well, young 16-year-old left-back Thierry Small took part in the first team training sessions today ahead of tomorrow's game. Does it confirm that he'll be in the squad tomorrow? It doesn't, obviously, but it's a big positive move for him. And it just shows how well he is progressing in the under-23s and how well he is doing and how well thought of he is by, Carlo Ancelotti and the development staff at Everton. Of course, like we mentioned before, tomorrow is the first time fans will be allowed back into Goodison Park since March. There's some very, very important information that those fans who will be returning to Goodison Park have to take into consideration and read before going to the match tomorrow. Any fan that has received a successful ballot confirmation to state that you will be allowed entry into Goodison Park will have also had an email with a list of instructions that you will need to complete before entering the stadium. These are things like providing a text message that confirms you've had a negative COVID-19 test within 36 hours. So basically from 8 a.m. today on Friday the 11th until, of course, kick-off time tomorrow, you will have to be able to prove that you have a text message to state that you have had a negative test within that time frame. Obviously, if you're living in the Liverpool area, there's the mass testing, different, venues that are held in the mass testing where you can go in symptom free, get your test and have a result back within 20 minutes. Everton have also sent everybody a questionnaire, a health questionnaire, which is literally, I believe, only 5 or 6 questions long, takes less than 30 seconds to complete. You will have to complete that before entering Goodison Park tomorrow and prove that you have completed it. And then there's a whole other list of instructions in terms of when you should turn up at the stadium and different types of documentation you need to bring to be able to prove that you are the name on the season ticket, in terms of ID and photo ID and stuff like that. So if you have had a successful balloting confirmation to confirm that you can return to Goodison Park tomorrow, firstly, congratulations and enjoy the game and savour it, because there's not going to be many more times that you'll be able to say I went and watched Everton at Goodison Park in a Premier League game in front of 2,000 people. It's a very, very rare situation. It's going to be a very, very different experience to one that we're used to having. But said it, a couple of months ago, for me, it'd be much better than it is sitting at home watching Everton, because at least you're at Goodison Park. At least you've got somewhat of the match day experience. But like I said, if you have been successful, please don't just read the email that says you've been successful and think, right, sound, I'll turn up at 25 to 8 on, Saturday night and I'll get a bevy and then I'll walk in the stadium, because there is a list of things that you have to complete before entering Goodison Park. And I believe one of those emails also states a time in which you're supposed to arrive at the stadium. So just make sure you're going through all all the information that you've been said by the football club, so that there's absolutely no complications whatsoever when you turn up at Goodison Park tomorrow to gain entry to watch the game against Chelsea, which is obviously absolutely brilliant. And like I said before, first and foremost, enjoy it. Go and make it honourable for Chelsea. Go out there, show the players what they've been missing. Show James Rodriguez how brilliant this football club is. Show Carlo Ancelotti that we can all back him and that we are all behind him. And yeah, just go and enjoy the experience. I'm sure it will be absolutely brilliant. Earlier this week, Sport Witness put out an article, quite a strange article, one that I think got a lot of people sort of raising their eyebrows, and that was that Everton are interested in working with Iranian football legend Ali Daei. However, there is unsure of which role he will take up if he does join Everton Football Club. Now, this one was a little bit baffling and did sort of come with a joke, because about 24 hours earlier, there was rumours floating around that Everton were interested in loaning Daei Ali from Tottenham. So obviously when people saw the rumours as to thinking that we're interested in working with Iranian football legend Ali Daei, there was, that those jokes around whether or not there's been a bit of confusion there. But apparently there is interest from Everton Football Club. However, the reports say that they are unsure of what role he would take up if he did join the football club. And there's not really much more to say on that topic, to be perfectly honest with you, because I would not have a clue what role he'd take up at Everton Football Club if he did come in. I don't know an awful lot about him. I can't lie. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, he's this, he's that, he's the other. I don't know an awful lot about him, so I really don't know the role he'd take up at the football club. But it's coming from Sport Witness. It might be an absolute load of tosh, but it's worth mentioning, of course. Interesting news regarding movies this week. It was confirmed by Everton and various other different sort of photos and videos that the Sky Atlantic and Now TV show Tin Star, which is featuring Jim Worth, will actually be featuring some different images and videos and scenes and stuff surrounding Everton Football Club. So the new series, I believe, of Tin Star, done a bit of reading up on this, is set in Liverpool. It's based around basically the family returning to Liverpool because it was sort of like their safe place, years and years back. And there's different scenes and images that we've seen so far of, all three members of the family, including Jim Worth, travelling with Evertonians, which looked in the pictures to be towards an Everton game, because they're all wearing Everton scarves and there's Everton flags and they're all put, thingied up in Everton gear. So do go and check that out if you're interested in that. I know it is quite a popular television show, Tin Star, so I'm sure some of you might be aware of that, but the new season is set in Liverpool and it will feature certain scenes and certain episodes that you will see a little bit from Everton Football Club in there. So that is, of course, really, really interesting. Probably one of the biggest bits of news that I want to talk about this week is that Everton chairman Bill Kenwright has donated his seats for the remaining 3 games of the season to Evertonians in order for them to be able to go the game and sit in his area and watch the game, obviously, instead of him going himself. Bill Kenwright has had an interview with EvertonFC.com and he has said, while it's been a privilege to be in a very small minority of those able to attend games this season, as everyone has said, it really hasn't been the same without supporters there. Of course, the highs and lows have still been there, but not being able to share them with other Evertonians has meant a consistent feeling of sadness for me from the moment I arrived at each stadium, especially Goodison. Hopefully this period is coming to an end and we can soon be fully back to enjoying matches played as they should be, with all of us together. Now though, as a small number of fans are allowed back, I wanted to make this gesture. While it will be a difficult experience for 2,000 fans on Saturday, I know they'll all be thrilled to be back home, and the 2 who get my seats, give them a cheer for me. And those tickets will be available through the balloting system, exactly like the same way you apply for the tickets regularly. So I actually didn't know whether this was going to be Bill Kenwright giving away his actual seats in terms of in his director's box, or is basically his allocation to allow 2 other Evertonians or 3 other Evertonians to be able to go the game. But I've read a couple of articles, one in the Liverpool Echo, which says no, it'll be in the director's box. Whoever gets these seats will be able to go in and watch and experience the game in not in a similar way to Bill Kenwright, because I dare say, there's things that happen on a match day for Bill Kenwright that probably won't happen for your average fan, but at least they'll be able to go and view the game from his view, which obviously is a really, really nice gesture. And look, Bill Kenwright gets a lot of stick from Evertonians, an awful lot of stick for various different things and various different situations over the years, but one thing you'll never be able to say is he's not an Evertonian and that, he doesn't make these gestures, because he does make these gestures. He's done things like this before, and like I said, I don't think you can knock him come for this. It's a really, really nice gesture. Hopefully whoever gets the tickets enjoys the game and you know, makes the most of it, because it is, again, like I said before, a real once in a lifetime experience. And you know, like I said, it's fantastic for me from the chairman. It really, really is. And you know what, you know, you can't really knock him for that. There may be other things that you could have knocked him for in the past, but you can't really knock him for that for me. Everton have confirmed that they will reaffirm their commitment to inclusivity in football by supporting Stonewall's Rainbow Laces scheme in the upcoming game against Chelsea. Of course, we've seen a few football clubs doing this over the last couple of weeks or so, wearing the rainbow laces in their shoes in order to basically attempt to eradicate all forms of prejudice and all forms of discrimination from football. Discrimination in any form, be it racism, be it homophobia, be it you know, discrimination towards certain religions. Discrimination in any form is unacceptable, and certainly not accepted in football. There's no place for it, there's no room for it whatsoever, and it's fantastic that Everton are reaffirming their commitment to that, and you know, hopefully we'll see a lot of the players wearing the rainbow laces in tomorrow's Premier League game against Chelsea. A little bit of news on referees now. The referee for our game against Chelsea tomorrow, as well as our game against Leicester next week, was confirmed during the week. John Moss will referee the Premier League fixture at Goodison Park between Everton and Chelsea tomorrow, with Andre Marriner and Andy Halliday on VAR. Look, I don't want to sit here and make any excuses before, you know, the game, or before, you know, it's even struck 12 o'clock on Saturday, but I'm not going to lie, I'm not really fond of John Moss and Andre Marriner being in charge of any Everton foot game, in any situation really. Certainly not Andre Marriner being VAR. I think he's a referee who's had it out for us in the past. I think he's a very inconsistent referee, and I actually think he's a poor referee as well, to be perfectly honest with you. And again, John Moss, I'm not a massive fan of him. And it was also confirmed that Lee Mason will referee Everton's Premier League game against Leicester City on Wednesday, and Darren England and Derek Eaton will be on the VAR. Again, not a massive fan of Lee Mason in terms of Derek Eaton and Darren England. I don't know an awful lot about them, to be fair. So, you know, there you go. Make of that what you will. But they are the referees for the upcoming couple of Premier League fixtures for Everton. Everton confirmed earlier on this week that the ballot for the games against Arsenal and Manchester City is now open. Fans will be able to register their interest in gaining a ticket for those games at Goodison Park until midnight tonight on Friday the 11th of December. So if you haven't already, make sure you do go and register your interest if you are wanting to go and visit Goodison Park for those games and support the lads. Everton have also confirmed that the game against Manchester United in the Carabao Cup, there'll be more information regarding that later on at a different date that will be separate to the Premier League games against Arsenal and Manchester City. Everton confirmed that in regards to notifications about whether you've been successful or not for those ballots, fans should receive a notification on the 14th of December to say if they have been successful in receiving a ticket for the game against Arsenal, and it will be the 15th of December to say if they have been successful in receiving a ticket for the game against Manchester City as well. So keep those dates in mind if you have registered. If you haven't registered, you've got until 12 o'clock midnight tonight. It has been over a year since Duncan Ferguson took charge of his first game as Everton manager. It was, of course, the fantastic 3-1 win against Chelsea. Brilliant day at Goodison Park that was, and we are hoping that tomorrow's game against Chelsea is similar to that one in terms of performance and result. If there's one thing we need tomorrow, we need to show a bit of fight, we need to show a bit of passion, we need to show a bit of urgency, and that's exactly what we did on that day. And like I said, it has been just over a year since Duncan Ferguson took charge of the Everton side. Unfortunately, some bad news now. Former Everton scout Bob Pendleton sadly passed away earlier on this week. He was a youth scout. He was responsible for bringing Wayne Rooney to Everton Football Club, and unfortunately he did pass away at the age of 81. So obviously rest in peace to Bob Pendleton, and you know, of course, our condolences and thoughts go out to his family and friends in this very difficult time. A fantastic scout, and like I said, somebody who brought many talented players onto Everton Football Club's books, including one of England's most successful, Wayne Rooney. And a little bit of news to finish. It was Tim Cahill's birthday earlier on this week. Tim Cahill celebrated his 41st birthday. What an Everton player he was. 2 big birthdays over the last week or so in regards to Everton, Tim Cahill, and of course Leighton Bains. So we do wish both of those a very, very happy birthday. And that's it for today's weekly news roundup. If you have enjoyed it, please do hit that like button. It does only take a second. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. Really do appreciate all of your support as per usual. Don't forget to check out our game preview live with Callum. We'll be live at 5:15 p.m. tonight. So if that's not already up, please join us at 5:15 p.m. tonight to check that one out. Big thanks for watching. Please do leave a like if you have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new. And yeah, thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.